Hi dear, Namaskar. Good morning, evening, depending upon which part of the world you are in while watching this video. This is Krishan from cloudkrishan.com. I did masters in computer science and carrying 20 plus years of experience in IT industry. Hope you and your family are doing great while you are watching this video. Let's get started. So today topic is why cloud vs on premises. So we will understand in agenda what is on premises, advantage and disadvantage of on premises. Then we will move on what is cloud, advantage and disadvantage of cloud. What is on premises? So on premises infrastructure, or we also can call it private cloud, right? There are different type of cloud. So one of the type is private cloud. We also can call it on premises infrastructure. It is cloud computing environment that are reserved for use by one organization. So if a organization or a company has its own network, its own data centers, eh, everything it's on, they own within their boundaries, then we call it on premises. Now, nowadays you used to hear, right? Let's move to the cloud. Let's move to the cloud. So let's understand why people are talking to moving to cloud. What are the benefits of moving to cloud? But before going to the benefits, it's important to understand what are disadvantage of on premises, and then we will also talk about what are the advantage of having everything within your organization. Now, in on-premises, you need a data center. That's the first thing, right? And having the data center is a big investment because uh, you have to buy servers, you have to, buy everything you need for a data center. Now, place to set up data center, because data center is something very expensive. It has a lot of equipment. It requires neat and clean place. So you need a place to set up, data centers. Now, purchase the devices, as we said, you have to buy servers, you have to buy network, and you may have to buy, backup networks. Only one network will not work. It will work, but if somehow that network is down, you cannot keep your data center organization down. So you need a backup network, right? You have to buy firewalls, you have to buy cables, redundant electricity, because data center need lot of power. So you need a redundant electricity by any means. One source of power does not work, then the second source of power, the backup start working, right? So you need redundant electricity to have the data center on premises. Redundant internet connection, because if one connection is not working, then you need to switch to the different internet. So you need more than one internet. You may not be using both the internet all the time, but you need to have it. You need air condition, because data center emit lot of lot of heat. To control that heat and saving your equipment, you need air condition. You need dust free environments, because your servers, your firewall, your networks cannot work if there is a dust. So you need a good environment, a dust free environment. Now people, because there's a data center, a lot of equipment, you need people, right? You need people to manage a data center, you need people to manage electricity, you need people to manage the internet, you need people to, for air conditions. So these all are the expenditures. You need the security, because it's an expensive affair, right? So you need 24 by security to, make your data center secure. Uh, Now capex, because capex is a capital expenditure. All of this required a good amount of money, right? Which in technical terms we call it capex, right? To set up a data center, you need certain amount of money, which is capital expenditure. Now, not only this, you need a DR setup, right? So what I mean, DR means disaster recovery setup. So if by any mean your data center stop working, you need a backup data center, so that you can switch from your primary data center to secondary data center. So you need disaster recovery, though totally depend on the business. can you are you okay to have your data center down for some time, or you are not okay with it? That completely depend on the type of business you are doing. If your business does not go very well, uh, that's the disadvantage again, because initially many organizations set up their data center on prem, but it's not necessary that business will always go, at least lot of startups are opening nowadays, so they set up a data center, but it is not necessary to succeed. I wish all the startups succeed, all the organizations succeed, but that's not important. So what happened, if your organization is not doing very good, then you have to close your data center, you have to shut it. And when you have to shut it, you have to sell it. And the selling cost, is not very good. You have to sell your equipment, your ACs and everything, and very cheaper price, because it's not necessary you will get the fair amount when you sell those all of those items. So these are some of the disadvantage of having on premises, and that's how people are talking, let's move to the cloud, right? uh, but there's advantage as well. What is the advantage of having the on premises? The biggest advantage having the on premises data centers and everything is you have control on it, right? You can do whatever you want. You can key your servers, you can change your firewalls, you can do whatever you want. So the only advantage I can see, at least, is having the control, having the 100% control of everything you are having in data centers or in organization. So this we talk about on-prem, or we also call it on-premises. Now let's move to the cloud, right? So everybody is talking about let's move to the cloud, let's move to the cloud. So let's first understand what is the cloud. So the cloud is not something that they don't have data centers, or it's not something they don't have network, they don't have firewall, they have everything, much more than what a organization have in their own data centers. But you don't directly control it. You control the person you are going to use it. That totally depend on the deployment model you are going to use it. So let's understand what are the benefits of moving to the cloud. So the first advantage or the benefit of moving the cloud is you can consider it as a group of data centers. So when you have when we are talking about on-prem or on-premises, you are having a one data centers and one disaster recovery data center, DR data center we said. Now in cloud is group of data center. Lot of data center is spread it across the world, across the earth, across the region, across the countries, like that. So the advantage is you have group of data centers, so there's no problem of having DR or anything. Now it's on demand, right? So data centers are there, hardware is there, firewall is there, everything you need for organization is there, but you don't have to pay. You have to pay only what you use it. And it is on demand. So today if you need two servers, you can create two servers. Tomorrow you need 10 servers, you can create 10 servers. But day after tomorrow, if you need just three servers, you can release your remaining seven servers. But if you are on prem, that's not possible, because if you need server, you have to buy a new servers, and that's not easy, right? In data center, in cloud, you don't have to do it. They are already there. You just need to configure them using browse, simply only using browser. Now it's a self-service, right? So cloud computing is self-service. If you want to create a server, if you want to create a network, if you want to create a virtual machine, if you want to create a storage account, anything you want to create on the cloud is self-service, right? They were not created. You can take their service, by the way. They can create infrastructure for you. They can set up VM for you. Cloud provider can do all of that, but they will charge for it. So, and they prefer to have the self-service. It is same as you go in the restaurant, few restaurant have service, but they charge, service, they charge for their service. There are few restaurant which does not provide you service. You order it, you wait for it. Once your order is ready, you pick it up, right? In the same way, cloud, they have everything ready. Whatever you need, just pick and pay for that. Now, next is host globally. One of the biggest benefit of cloud computing is they are hosted globally. So if let's say you are the multinational company, your organization has users, from the multiple countries, multiple regions. Cloud is great in that because you can deploy your resources nearby users wherever your user exists, right? So that's and if you have on-prem, then you don't have that flexibility. If you have to create data center closer to the user, you need a lot of capex, right? But in cloud, you can choose your location, you can choose your country, you can choose your region where you want to deploy. So if let's say you have one website which is being accessed, most of the users of this website are maybe from Canada, then you can deploy your resources, your website in Canada data center using cloud. So that's the biggest one of the biggest benefit of using the cloud. Sorry. Scalability. Cloud is hyper scalable. So we said cloud is group of data center, right? A lot of data center, lot of servers are there. You can scale based upon your requirement. Cloud is hyper scalar. You can scale up to whatever you want. You can whatever you can imagine, right? uh, I never saw a limit when cloud refused to create a virtual machine. I mean, we created thousands of virtual machines and they never said, you just keep creating, right? So it's a hyper scalable. Now, high availability. So when we were talking about, on-prem, we said a data center and then DR data center, disaster recovery data center. Why we need to have DR data center? To have the availability. If my primary data center is down, my second data center come up and can serve to the user. But in cloud, because this is a group of data centers, so availability is high. So if one data center is down, it automatically move your virtual machines, your resources to the secondary data centers. And if second data center is down, it can move to the third data center. Even if one region is altogether down, they can move your resources, your data, your virtual machines, everything to secondary region, right? So high the availability is very high in case of the cloud. It is cost effective. Why it is cost effective? In case of your own premises, you have to spend a good amount, which we call capex, to buy a servers, buy a firewall, buy a network, everything. But cloud is cost effective because you don't buy anything actually. You just pay what you use. So today, if you need one server, as I said, you pay for the one server. Tomorrow, you need 10 servers, you pay for the 10 server. Day after tomorrow, if you need just 5 server, pay just for the 5 server. You need not to pay, for all the 10 servers. But if it's on premises, if you have bought, you have bought, you have spent your money, right? So it has gone. So that's how we say cloud. Everybody say, hey, cloud is cost effective because you pay what you what you use, and this is called pay as you go, right? Though there are different type of subscription model, but pay as you go is the most effective and most usable cost model in cloud. Security, we talk about data security. So cloud is very secure, right? It's very safe. Everything you store in the cloud in the disk, that is by default encrypted. Even you can apply your own encryption if you don't want to use the cloud encryption, right? For having your keys or any sensitive information, cloud provide a service called AKV, Azure Key Vault, right? So Azure Key Vault is a service in the cloud which is used to store any sensitive information. For example, you want to store a database connection string, you should be storing in AKV. If you want to store your keys, you can put in the AKV. So it is very safe. Cloud is very safe. It's very secure. Now we talk about the DR, right? Cloud provide disaster recovery. As I said, if one data center is down, it will move your resource to the second data center. If second data center is down, it can move to third. Even if the region is down, they can move to the different region. Each of administrator browser only, right? You don't need any third-party software, anything to create your VM. It's as simple as possible. Everybody has the browser on your computer or laptop. Open a browser, access the portal, cloud portal. You are done. You can open the portal in a browser and just create the resources, whatever resources you want to. Your organization is required. No worries for security. You need not to worry for security. Security means hardware security. Nobody will. can tap your servers, because there's whichever provider you are using, it is Microsoft, it's Amazon, it's IBM, does not matter which cloud service provider you are using. You need not to worry for the security, right? They take care for the security. Reliability. Cloud is very, very, very reliable, because you can set up your backup, you can set up your replication, and there are different type of applications available. Even you can replicate within same data centers on the different server. You can set up your replication to different different data centers. Even you can you can set up replication for different region, different countries, right? It's a very, very reliable. If even one complete region goes down, one country goes down, it's your data, your virtual machine will be available if you correctly architect your backup and replication. Now, BCDR, right? We talk about BCDR stand for business continuity and disaster recovery. What is BCDR? BCDR is in by any mean my business should continue, right? And that's how we talk about disaster recovery. Cloud has managed DC, right? So in cloud, you will heard lot of time, lot of people talk about manage and unmanaged. So unmanaged does not being managed. So and managed means is something which is being managed by cloud service provider, right? So let's say if you're using Microsoft Azure and you create a managed type virtual machine, it means you need not to worry about installing OS, you need to worry about installing patches or updating your OS or firewall or anything, because that VM is being managed by internally uh, cloud service provider, Microsoft Azure, right? So that's the meaning of manage. Manage means it being managed, the resource is being managed by the provider itself. Unmanaged means you have created the virtual machine, but you said, okay, I'm going to manage it. What OS I'm going to use, I will install the OS. What firewall am I going to use, I will set up the firewall. Whenever there is any upgrade, I will choose I need to install that upgrade or not, right? So then we say it's unmanaged, right? So whatever we manage, we call it unmanaged. Whatever cloud service provider manage, that's the managed. So cloud has managed data center, because we don't manage the data center, right? Who manage it? Whoever is a provider. So if it is Amazon, uh, cloud you are using, so Amazon will manage their data centers. If it is Microsoft, then Microsoft will manage your data center. So cloud has managed data centers. It means owned by someone else, right? We don't own it. They are owned by someone else. We just rent it, use it, and leave it, release it. You can take few servers on rent, right? If you want, okay, I don't want virtual machine, or I don't want a machine to, to share by someone else. You can say, I need a complete, dedicated server. So even all those service providers, cloud service provider provide servers as well. So you can take your own server on the rent, right? Instead of creating virtual machine or set up the virtual resources. Now, let's come. If cloud has so many of advantages, there's a disadvantage as well, right? And the biggest disadvantage of cloud is, you know, uh, you need someone who is expertise in management of the cloud, right? You need cloud experts. Does not matter which one you are using. If you are using Microsoft Azure Cloud, then you need expert architect of the Microsoft Azure Cloud. If you are Amazon Cloud, then you need an expert, from Amazon, who knows everything in and out, who can design your architecture and which best fit for you, because no architecture best fit for everybody or all the organization. Every organization is different, they have their different requirements, their user base are different, their locations are different, their computing is different, their memory is different. So all those difference, even their networks are different, right? For somebody data is more important, somebody maybe it's the private type of, public type of data, so they don't care on the security that much. So if you want to use the cloud, the disadvantage we can consider it, which is you need a expert, is required to platform expertise. So that's the disadvantage of the cloud we can consider. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's recap. We talk about what is on premises, what is the advantage and disadvantage of on premises. Then we talk about cloud, what is cloud, what are the advantage, and what are the disadvantage of the cloud. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, then I request you to please press like button, bell button, so that you get the notification for my next videos. And subscribe please, right? So I can keep you updated whenever I post my new video. Thank you very much. That's it for now. Thank you.